Hello everyone. I might look a lot clearer because I'm filming from my iPad. So if there's a change, I might dislike it. Anyway, so I did this switcheroo because yesterday was insane. So I just want to indicate all the things that went wrong yesterday as a reminder to myself so that this they won't happen again. Okay, so well, first of all, today is Thursday. It's our prize day at the camp. So every Thursday, or during the week, the children play games and one person or another win, but they don't receive their prizes then and there. So I write their names down, and on Thursday is the day where they collect their prize. But it's not like they collect a prize for each win, because I don't have prizes like that. Yeah, I'm not that rich. Camp is... Anyway, so what they do is the more you've won during the week, you get like first pick, and then it goes on that way. So that's what we're doing today, but that's what we would have done today, but they lost the privilege for this week because we had an activity with a woman who had come, and they were not behaving, they were not listening. And this is how it goes with us, like, you know, they do excellently one time, and then they do poorly, they win privileges, and they lose them. So it's a learning process, it's all right. So when we went to the library, it was awesome. They did great, they were commended, so they all got like ICs. We had a person come in to speak for a career day type presentation, the nurse from Nurses Rock, and they did excellent. She commended them, so they all get ICs. But then someone else came and they were supposed to do activities and they were not listening, so they lost today's privilege of winning a prize. So then I have to push it for Thursday. So that's how it goes. We're going to do a lot of things today, but I wanted to talk about what happened yesterday. So yesterday was a trip day, it was Wednesday, today's Thursday, as I said. So the first thing that happened wrong was the bus was late. It's a bit my fault that it was late because we had to switch trips around since last week. We couldn't do the horseback riding trip because it was too hot. So we pushed it to this week. But I called the place, and then I told the parents, I forgot to call the bus company. So yesterday we're like waiting for the bus, and they're like, not here. So when I called them, they were like, well, no, you were supposed to be going such and such a place, and you were supposed to be leaving at 11. And I was like, oh, I forgot to tell you. So that was an oopsie on my part. Okay, so that was the first thing that went wrong. Then because of where we were going, and the fact that the children do not like the lunch that I bring, sandwiches from the city, they provide lunch for us, I told each child to bring their own lunch. Like 5 children did not have, and they didn't tell me until the last minute when we were about to leave. So then I had to run to the store and like pay out of pocket to like get them something to eat, because like, what were they gonna eat? Air, right? Anyway, some of the kids were like, yeah, they could eat air. No, they can't. Anyway, so we had to wait on that. So even as the bus came, we were a bit late getting on. Then the third thing that went wrong, we're on the bus, everything's going well, we prayed, everything's fine. And then it was taking a while to get there. So I'm like, my GPS said 35 minutes. We were running on 45, and just about the hour, the man was like, I think we're pretty close. Does this look familiar? And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Look familiar? Don't you know where you're going? And I was like, are we at 9 Shore, whatever? Because that's where we're going. To the equestrian place. And he was like, what? No? They told me this and this and that and that. I'm like, no. So then we had to go around and do what we needed to do to get to the right location. So it took about like 3 hours to finally get there. And then I had 2 children. They were relatively new that day. they got car sick. So I gave them some chewing gum, and thankfully they did not throw up in the bus. So that was the fourth thing that went wrong. And then, what's the other thing? So when we got there, the mayor was very nice. The owner of the place. So it's the equestrian place in the Bronx, 9 Shore. He was so sweet. He was so kind. Even though we were late, he allowed us to go there and participate and ride the horses and everything like that. That was fine, and I really appreciated it. But the thing was, there was no trail, right? And he said that. I think he had mentioned it, but I was just expecting it to be like a bigger place, a longer ride. I think we went around 2 to 3 times. Some people felt like they did only 2. Some people felt they did 3. I wasn't really counting. We had like 25 children there, 25, 26, 27. 2 of them were added on. Their parents just wanted them to do the trip. So, you know, the little ones rode the pony, and it was only $5, so it was great. I loved that. And that's what caused me to go there this year, because the last year we went to the Jamaica Academy, right? And that's in Queens. But this year, since I saw that this place was cheaper, for like $5 for ponies for little ones under 10, and $20 for the horse for older ones. And so I was like, this is such a boon compared to the $20 for the children on ponies and the $40 for the older ones in the academy. As great as the man was, as wonderful as it was, even the children did say they had fun, but I wanted to ride a horse. I wanted to be on it for like 45 minutes, not like 5. I think at most. So we won't be going back, not because they're not nice, not because they, you know, the children did not have fun, but just because I have something to compare it with. So again, the place is nice. You know, the horses were gentle, they were, you know, great in that sense, but I felt we could have had a trail. And since they don't offer that, then we're not going to go again. Sorry. But if you're looking for a place where, you know, the person is very reasonable, things like that, you know, clean, it's the place to go. And there were a few people there when we got there, so, you know, it is populated, you know. So that was that. And then the other thing is, they only take cash. There's no ATM, so you have to bring money. And I had money, but I didn't have enough. So luckily, being that the man was so nice, he allowed me to pay half in cash. I think I paid like $200 something in cash, and the rest in a check. So he's very reasonable, and that's really wonderful. But if you go with a large group, it's best that everything is done, prepared before. And he said he told me, and I'm sure he did, but with all the things going on up here, I totally forgot. So the other thing was the place that he said there were to eat, the picnic tables, they were in the sun. I didn't see them. The man, the boss guy, he told me about it. So I was like, you know what, let's not even bother. Let's just eat on the bus. So the kids did not mind that at all. So, you know, we did the restroom thing, washed our hands, and then went on the bus, and everyone was fine. And then we left. So then the last thing, one of the children broke out in hives. So that was like, no. But luckily, so I'm assuming, because I, you know, spoke to mom. I haven't spoken to her today to find out after she's gone to the hospital, you know, the doctors, if it was like allergic to the horses or something she touched there. So, but luckily mom was on the trip with us, and, you know, we had our EpiPen, we had all our emergency equipment. So had anything gone wrong, obviously we would have been, you know, equipped and ready to do what we needed to do emergency-wise. But she was, you know, it was just a bit, you know, of hives. She wasn't in distress, so I was glad for that. But that's all. Those are all the things that went wrong yesterday. But overall, the children enjoyed it. You know, they had fun. You know, and children will be children. Like, they were out. It was sunny, breezy. There were horses. Oh, and I forgot. The man, he had like a, for each child, $5 extra for him to give you like a tour of the barn. The barn's not that great, that huge, but you know, he spoke about the horses. He let us meet his horse. He let the children feed the horse. He talked about how to clean it, and you know, a lot of things. You know, not like a huge amount, but $5 worth. I guess it covered it all. I don't know. So if you're interested in horseback riding, you know, that is an option. I don't believe we'll go back just because I have the Jamaica Academy to compare it with, and I rather prefer them. They are more costly, but you know, like, I think that's worth it, because I like, you know, when we went there, we had like a trail ride. It was like 45 minutes. We saw the sea, there were grass, there were trees. It was wonderful, you know. Last year, not a lot of people went because all the children were small, and it was just like 2 older kids who were above 13. I think the range is 13. So this year, a lot of the kids, I know, they've grown, they're taller, so they could have gone on because they got on the horse this time. So maybe next year we'll go there, unless I find another place to go. So that was that. So let's see what happens today. Yeah, we'll see. We're chugging on with the camp. We're still loving it. The children are still wonderful. We have 2 new campers added on, and there's 3 weeks left. There's 1 child to come that I know of. Mom dropped off her information for me. So we're gonna see what else we can, you know, do during the camp to keep it fun. Everything that's planned or that's already scheduled will be done, but I always try to change things around, add things, and just to liven things up and keep things exciting. And that's all. So see you around. Cheerio.